Congratulations. You've been selected for a fully paid stay, the hotel clerk said cheerfully. I can't remember my daughter's name, a man said in a weak and confused voice. What if a luxury hotel paid you to stay there? What if every night spent in a 5-star suite earned you cold, hard cash? All you have to do is check in. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? But what if the payment wasn't in money, but in memories? What if the real checkout meant checking out of your own mind? This is not a story about a vacation. This is a story about a spiritual transaction. A tale of a man who thought he was getting the deal of a lifetime, only to discover he was the product being sold, piece by precious piece. In the crowded, expensive city of Nairobi, a young man named Jabari was drowning. A brilliant but poor university student, he was on the verge of being evicted from his cramped, cockroach-infested apartment. His textbooks were overdue, his stomach was constantly empty, and the weight of his poverty was crushing his dreams of becoming an engineer. His flaw was a desperate, all-consuming need for a shortcut. He was tired of the struggle, tired of the grind. He watched his wealthy classmates flaunt their easy lives, and a bitter seed of envy grew in his heart. His grandmother, Shani, a woman who smelled of soil and wisdom, warned him. Jabari, my child, a fast river often leads to a dangerous waterfall. What comes too easily, leaves too easily. Trust the slow, sure path. But Jabari wasn't listening. He was scanning online forums for quick money-making schemes when he saw it, a pop-up ad, elegant and shimmering. The Nyumbani Hotel. Are you worthy of a paid experience? We pay you to enjoy our luxury. Apply now. It seemed too good to be true. He clicked. A sleek application form appeared. It asked strange questions. What is your most cherished childhood memory? Describe the scent of your mother's perfume. What is the sound of your happiest laughter? Desperate, Jabari answered poetically, pouring his soul into the answers. Within an hour, he received a golden digital voucher. Congratulations, Jabari. You have been selected. 10,000 KSH per night. Check in tonight. He told his grandmother he had gotten a temporary job. She looked at him, her eyes clouded with a strange fear. Nyumbani, that is an old word. It does not just mean home. It means the resting place. Be careful, child. But Jabari, his head filled with visions of money and luxury, didn't care. He packed a small bag and went to the address. The hotel was a stunning, Art Deco masterpiece, standing alone on a silent, tree-lined street. It was beautiful, but utterly silent. No cars. No people. The air was still and cold. He walked through the revolving doors. The lobby was breathtaking. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, the scent of expensive perfume. An impeccably dressed clerk, Mr. Zamunda, greeted him with a smile that was a little too wide, a little too fixed. Ah, Mr. Jabari. We've been expecting you. Your suite is ready. And here is your first night's payment. He slid a thick envelope of crisp, new bills across the desk. Jabari's heart soared. This was the rhythm of joy. The initial, miraculous benefit. It was real. His suite was palatial. A king-sized bed, a jacuzzi, a minibar stocked with expensive drinks. He slept better than he had in years. The next morning, another envelope was slipped under his door. 10,000 ksh. He tried to remember his dream, but it was fuzzy. Gone. He shrugged it off. Stress. He decided to stay a second night. And a third. The money kept coming. He paid off his debts, bought new clothes, ate like a king. But the consequences began to creep in. He was talking to his girlfriend, Lena, on the phone. She was describing their first date, a beautiful day at the Giraffe Center. Jabari listened, but he couldn't picture it. The memory was a gray, shapeless blob. He laughed it off. I'm just tired, Lena. Then, he was studying for an exam on engineering principles he knew backwards and forwards. Suddenly, the formulas looked like gibberish. The concepts he had mastered were gone, wiped clean from his mind. Panic began to set in. He called his grandmother. As she spoke, her voice, usually so familiar, sounded distant. He struggled to remember the lullaby she used to sing to him. The one he knew by heart. Nothing. He ran to Mr. Zamunda. What's happening to me? I'm forgetting things. Mr. Zamunda's smile never wavered. The body must rest, Mr. Jabari. So must the mind. You are simply lightening your load. Making room for new, luxurious experiences. It is part of the process. That night, Jabari couldn't sleep. He wandered the hallways. The hotel was a labyrinth of identical, silent corridors. He passed a room and heard soft, childlike weeping. He peered through the keyhole. Inside, an elderly man was sitting on the bed, staring blankly at a wall, stacking and restacking his piles of cash. He was muttering a single phrase, over and over. What was my wife's name? What was my wife's name? Jabari stumbled back, his blood running cold. He finally understood. The hotel wasn't paying them with money. It was buying from them. The currency was memories. Feelings. Knowledge. The very fabric of their souls. Terrified, Jabari packed his bag. He had to get out. He ran to the lobby. I want to check out. Mr. Zamunda was there, his smile now sinister. Check out? But you have a balance, Mr. Jabari. What balance? I paid for nothing. Not a monetary balance, Zamunda said, his eyes glinting. A memory balance. You see, the initial payment was an advance. For a full lifetime of memories. You have consumed the advance. Now, the hotel requires the rest. You cannot leave until the account is settled. The elegant lobby began to change. The walls seemed to pulse. The beautiful patterns in the marble shifted, forming the agonized faces of past guests, their mouths open in silent screams. The hotel was alive, and it was hungry. Jabari turned to run, but the corridors stretched and twisted, leading him in circles. He was trapped in a beautiful prison that was slowly digesting his past. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. He could feel it, the last vestiges of his identity dissolving. The face of his grandmother began to fade. The sound of Lena's laughter became an echo. In a final, desperate act, he didn't fight for his memories. He focused on the one thing the hotel couldn't take, the love he still felt. The love for his grandmother, for Lena. The love that existed even if he couldn't remember why. He poured all of that raw, undefined emotion into a single, screamed name, Shani. Back in her small house, Grandma Shani, who had been praying over a bowl of water, jolted. The water in the bowl had turned black. She knew. She grabbed a bag of powerful, protective herbs and ran through the night, following a spiritual pull only she could feel. At the hotel, a green, living vine, thick with thorns and glowing leaves, burst through the marble floor. It was Shani's magic, fighting the hotel's unnatural architecture. The vine wrapped around Jabari, pulling him towards the entrance. Mr. Zamunda shrieked in fury, his human form dissolving into a shadowy, grasping entity. "He is Ous," the hotel itself seemed to roar. But the vine, fueled by a grandmother's unconditional love, was stronger. It ripped Jabari through the revolving doors and onto the street, just as Shani arrived. The hotel doors slammed shut behind them. The building seemed to glare at them with its 1,000 windows before fading, slowly, into the mist, searching for its next desperate victim. Jabari was free. But he was empty. He had his life, but he had lost his story. He didn't remember his university major. He didn't remember his first kiss. He looked at Lena and his grandmother with a deep, profound love, but he couldn't remember why. He had to start over. Relearn everything. He was a man with a present, but no past. The Nyumbani Hotel is still out there. It appears to those who are desperate, who crave an easy way out. Its ads still pop up on dark corners of the internet.